Hey everybody. I think we are live. Yeah. Yeah, it's all happening. Yeah, okay. We're live and I'm just going to wait for people to come in. And there's a surprise that we have. Hey, Quilting Politics. Hey, Sue. So people are coming into the chat. I'm not talking to anybody, at all. It's just an empty chair. I couldn't do... We're in a hotel I'm in a hotel in Budapest, alone. Definitely not anybody right there. And I really hope that that this is going to work, because I've done some fancy footwork. I have done some fancy footwork to get this to work. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting, and we might just sit here and chat. But okay, wait. Okay, so hi, we're live. Yes, you are live. Hey, Myra. Hey, everybody. So, Mom, why don't you come on in, because I need you. I need you to just talk to the folks. Hey, everybody.
Hi, it's Halloween in Budapest.
It's very funny. It's very good.
I think that was Eric's, though.
It was Eric's idea.
Yeah.
So, Mom, can you tell the people, like, what's going on? And I'll look for this thing.
Like, why we're here and together?
Yep.
Okay, so my husband Mark and I are in Budapest at the end of a very long anticipated and planned trip with the COVID and everything. Mm-hmm. So we flew to Prague like 10 days ago. Mm-hmm. I had not been on an airplane since QuiltCon. And then we met up with my youngest, Rebecca, mm-hmm. and her husband Jack in Prague. Mm-hmm. And then we visited Prague. It was mm-hmm. amazing. I've never seen so many cobblestones in my life. It's the cobblestones, and I thought of the babies in their strollers. Like how do they learn to ride a bike? They must have special tires, because
probably.
Yeah. So
look, everybody's so happy. See, this is the chat. So everybody's in there.
So we
Hey,
walked,
P. Morgan. Hi. That's our first time chatting from Auburn, California.
Well, so we walked all over Budapest. We had such a great time. The weather was nice, very windy one day. Anyway, then we took a train to Regensburg, Germany, mm-hmm. which was fantastic. And was that where I got got gloves there because it was a little chilly. And then we got on the Viking River boat mm-hmm. in Regensburg, and we traveled on the Danube mm-hmm. to Budapest.
Yep.
And in Passau, mm-hmm. I got a beret.
Mm-hmm.
I should have brought it down to model it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, this is all about me, but like the day before, I was like, I think with my new hairstyle, I need a hat. I'd like a beret.
Yeah.
And the next day we find ourselves at a hat store with like all these berets to choose from. I got 2 berets. And then in Passau and in Krems, we went riding on e-bikes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I loved it. And I might get an e-bike, because Mark and I did so much biking in our 50s. Mm-hmm. And it's like if you do biking, when you put it on turbo, it's like get the best tailwind in the world. It was awesome.
Okay, no, you're still on.
Okay.
Do the thing.
Okay, and so now we're here in Budapest, and the amazing thing is that I'm here with Mary, because Mary and Eric flew from London to Budapest, and I feel like jet setters.
I know.
It's just awesome.
Okay, that's fine. So you're doing a great job. Okay, great job. I mean, really good. Okay, yeah. Can you can all see that wiggly screen, right? Right? Okay, I wish... Actually, do you have your phone?
No, I left upstairs charging.
We should get a picture of what's happening here. I'm using
do you want me to get it?
No, I need you. Okay. I'm using my iPad as a second monitor. Mm-hmm. Listen,
it's amazing.
It's amazing. One day, these Twitch things, Mom, mm-hmm. the broadcasts and stuff, quilters should be using Twitch. Mm-hmm. You can do live stream from Facebook, you can do live stream from Instagram and stuff, but mm-hmm. Twitch is better at it anyway. But so I'm really proud of myself that I have learned how to use Streamlabs OBS. I've got 2 monitors going. That iPad, I'm terrified.
You should have heard her over the past 10 minutes, like, nope.
And so here we are. So we're going to have about an hour with you all, and we have something fun to do.
Because then we have to go to dinner.
Yes, right. But first I want to say, and tell you, or you can just chime in. And hey, everybody, hi. We want to say hi to everybody. Okay, we have to say hi to everybody. So that's Sue, Word and Bird Nerd. I don't know everybody's name, and right now, even if I know, I'm probably going to forget because it's just like, well, Myra's here. These are amazing people. Padma's here. Carol Hempel, I think she was among my first subscribers. Amazing. Caroline, that's White Timber Cottage. She's in Germany. Quilting
Not
Nancy,
too far away.
Not too far away. P. Morgan, first time in the chat. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And then Nancy. Okay. And yeah. Okay. So people are here. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah. Okay. So
thank you for
this
asking me
show-
to participate.
Of course, Holmes is there. Okay. Good. So this show, Mom. Here's what the deal is. So I look at quilts a lot, and I like to say, if quilts were just pretty blankets, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this, and I wouldn't be so interested in them. But
There's
quilts,
so much more.
There's so much more, and so quilts lead to the whole world. I mean, I've learned about world history. I am continuing to learn about world history, even philosophy and economics,
Women's history,
politics. Everything, because there's a quilt that will take you to any place, and including Hungary, right? Because I looked up Hungarian quilts, and it's a thing. But we're going to look at something else because tech.
And we can't forget to tell them about that thing we're going to do.
Oh yes, that thing we're going to do. We won't. Hey, Dee Marie. Hey, Vicky. So the point of this show, I told you about it, but now that you're seeing you're kind of seeing what it looks like. I'm just curious, and I'm curious about quilts. And so I'm researching for lectures, or I'm researching for whatever, documentary, which we had a little nibble the other day.
You were a curious child from childhood, always curious.
A bit curious, I'm very curious in all the ways. But so I'm looking online, and I'm finding amazing things, quilts in fashion, quilts in art, and it's like, oh my gosh, great. Just wonderful stuff, but it goes into my file, it goes into my computer, and if I don't use that information in a lecture, or I don't, nobody sees that stuff. And even if I find something, I find a lot of things that go into a lecture, but not everything can go into a lecture, and I have 50 minutes. And so they see my screen, they're going to see what's on my screen, and so we just go down the quilt rabbit hole. I show them what I find, and people chat about it, and we talk about it in real time. So I like to say that I get to be curious with other people.
Well, and it's like being in the stacks at the study center in Lincoln.
Yeah,
You're like going in those drawers, pulling out those things, and showing people.
Exactly. You never know what you're going to find, and we just have a blast. And so, quilting grandma, she's great. So anyway, what we're going to do today is it's just a lot with the tech. What I can do at home, it's still a lot at home, but switching screens and doing things like
in a hotel where a bunch of people might just come in and all of a sudden.
Yes. So you're lucky we're here. No, I'm kidding. So I'm going to. Mom and I did a lecture at QuiltCon.
The last time I flew before coming here.
Exactly. And so we of course we haven't rehearsed this lecture. We just had this idea. So I'm going to put that on your screen, and we're just going to kind of reminisce about what that lecture was like.
Which is fun to do because of
Yeah. And so we're going to put that on.
Think of that hotel in Austin. For that lecture at QuiltCon, I mean, it was like 1,000 people sitting side by side. In February of 2020. I mean, geez.
Yeah, and then where were you when everything started happening?
I was on a train to Chicago for my writing class.
That's right.
On a Wednesday, whatever, March, whatever. And Ellen Graff called me, and we canceled the Washington Island Quilts of Valor sew-in. And I remember taking the train to Chicago, going to my writing class on Thursday, and then all you kids, all three, said, "Mom, don't get back on that train. Rent a car and drive home." And I did. So, and I pretty much stayed home since then.
Yeah. It's hard to travel. I mean, we did international flights, to England from America. We did it 3 times, but like Eric wore a full face respirator, and we did nothing else. It was like we spent our COVID bucks. We like to say like you get into risky situations, and you just have to pick your risky situations, I guess. Anyway,
Well, and here, I mean, we had to get our test in order to get on the international flight, and then on the Viking River cruise, they had to spit in a tube every morning, and they test it, make sure everybody's okay, and it's complicated. But I'm so glad I got to see Vienna and my red shoes. I wish I had them on my feet to show you because they're so beautiful.
Yes,
and
they're
I
great.
just anyway,
we have like a clubhouse. We have an online clubhouse. It's called a Discord server, and so we can put all those pictures. You need to join the Discord.
Okay.
And then we'll
You
talk
show
about
me
it.
how.
Yes, I will
Miss
show you
Tech.
how. Yes. So Earth Girl now is here. She loves this chat. Jill Alex is here. Best Sunday ever.
and you can
Viandor says Viking cruises are amazing.
Yeah.
That was a great itinerary.
It was. Yeah.
Red shoes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
SW Firefly. Hey.
Yeah, the shoes are like courtier shoes. They have bows, ties. They're
ribbons.
beautiful. Yeah.
Ribbons, indeed.
And
okay.
we're not too pricey.
Good. That's good. That's good. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do, Mom. I have a quilt on your desktop. I mean, the quilt that's on your screen is by a Hungarian artist, and I know the screen should be blue or black. That's normal. That's okay if you're looking at that. The starting soon screen did not work. I mean, I was like, no, I can't figure that out, and it was 5 o'clock, and all.
So it was already soon. It was already soon.
Yeah. So, but what I was going to say is the quilt that you were seeing before is by a Hungarian artist, and I will tell you about it later.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it too. And there's a blue and white fabric that's traditional to Hungary, and I was looking up Hungarian quilts and their traditions, and there are many. This was just kind of like, let's do this instead because it's so fun. There's a modern quilt guild in Budapest, I believe, in Hungary, so there's much more to tell you about that, and I'll tell you about that.
And it is Budapest.
Budapest. And Marianne in England said it's Buda and Pest, and I was like, I didn't know that.
They were joined, and it was the chain bridge joined the cities. It's fascinating.
Yeah. So, let me just see. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun to think about that lecture.
So now we have to switch to this main Twitch scene. Okay, now if I do this, okay, yeah. Can you all see that? You can see it says trajectory. Can you see that? We'll just wait. Hey, Michelle Van Scrappy. They have great names. Okay, so I forget. So we talked about. Hold on. Oh yeah, this is the slide. 50 years of quilt making in America.
Yeah.
Mother and daughter in dialogue. So so you
can they see all of that picture?
No, I have to move us. Hang on. Main Twitch scene. Oh, that's okay.
I feel like I'm in the control room.
Here's what's going to happen. Hang on 1 second. One second. Travel cam. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hang on. So I'm going to make us smaller. We're tiny. So we really have to be uncomfortably close. Okay, so now that should be fine. I'm going to just make sure this is still... Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah. So we're like little peeps in the corner.
Okay, now I'm going to do one more thing.
So they can see all of it.
Yep, so you can see all of it. And I'm going to do, and we want to see all of it too. So, so we're going to do this. Sorry, y'all. I mean, this is just like a crazy, it's a crack up, basically. We got that from Rebecca. It's a crack up.
It's a crack up.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to do that.
Yeah, I see what you're doing.
And then we fit it, right, into that.
Then put us in the foreground, or no?
Well, I mean, okay, hang on. Then we can do one other thing here. You all are very patient. I mean, if you knew what I was doing, it's like really intense. Okay, now I'm going to move us up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
of course, we might be in front of something else.
Yeah, we will be. Okay.
But there we are, and you know what? That was the Covered Bridge Festival in Winterset, Iowa, which is always the second full weekend in October. Back in you were born in 75. You're about 2 years old, so that's like 1977.
No, I was born in 79.
79, okay. So Hannah's 75, you're 79. So it's like 82. Well,
82.
No, Rebecca was born 82. I don't think I'm pregnant there, so it's like 1981.
1981.
Yeah, you're about 2 years old.
Love a bonnet, SJ Pepper says. Love a bonnet.
Well, I made that bonnet for you too, and
you probably made all your clothes.
I made those, and I recently donated those to the theater group in town, and they were doing Oklahoma, so it was great.
It's perfect. What about the bonnet? Did you give the bonnet?
I don't know.
My baby bonnet.
Yes. It made the rounds for Halloween and stuff, but anyway.
We don't save things. You don't save things.
Not too much. You know what? I save the important things.
Yeah, you save the important. I think we can actually let's get in a little bit closer so I can actually see what's
going on. We just did this whole display at the Art Center in Winterset of my father, who was a local boy who became a wonderful artist, commercial artist. And I mean, I had his diary from 1940. I mean, I had his sketches from high school. So I had his Navy stuff. I had his honorable discharge. So I had all the important things.
His honorable discharge.
Yeah, so I saved the important things, and the bonnet might not have been the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right, so 50 years of quilt making in America. So I remember when we were working on this, we talked about the trajectory. Okay, so look what I did. These are the chapters. There's the trajectory. We talk about the trajectory of the quilt, 50 years, right? Okay, and then the triumphs of the whole thing, the failures.
Yes, I can't remember what any of these are, but hopefully the pictures will
There's so many pictures of failure. It's just, no, I'm kidding. And then, like, now what? So it's like, so now what comes in the next 50 years of quilt making in America, right? So we talk about what happened, what was great about it, what was not so great about it, and then now what? Okay? All right. So
let's go.
And we're not really doing the lecture.
Yeah.
Oh, you see the joke? Remember that joke? So, like, now what? Cheeky. Okay. Trajectory. Let's see what we put in here. And like I said,
we're revisiting this all over.
We haven't looked at it since.
No, for a year. Over a year.
2 years. I mean,
a year and a half. Yeah.
A year and a half. Thanks for being here, everybody. And I'm gonna take a look at the chat and see, from time to time, what's going on and questions. Mark is the one who said it's a video magazine, but because we want to get through this, I want to, it may be less anyway. Yeah. So I wanted to put this in here because, we're talking about the growth of the industry, and, well, not just the industry, but the interest in quilt making, in the late 70s. And this is an amazing tote bag. Don't give me that when you
I've got that.
When you die.
So I'll give it to you now.
Okay.
So I took a silkscreen class in Winterset, Iowa, and silkscreened these tote bags. I mean, I did the stencil and everything, and then I went down to Houston because my first husband's family lived there, and I walked into Great Expectations, which was Carrie Bresenhand's quilt shop, with a bunch of these tote bags, and basically invented the quilt tote bag, because before that there weren't quilt tote bags, and talked to her about making them for the quilt International Quilt Festival market, as to sell them.
You didn't say that.
No, I've never told you that. And so so she loved it, and her mom too. But then, by the time a year rolled around, Liz and I got the contract to write the book, Classic
Quilter's Complete Guide.
No, Classic Quilted Best,
right,
1982. And so we didn't have time to make the tote bags, so she got them made by somebody else. But I still have those. So I mean, I do. It's so silly to say, but I do think, it was we made the first quilt tote bags. That's the first. It's a relic.
It's wonderful, and there's just one. I copied it 3 times. I love a good slide. So, by the way, we don't have time to get into all of it now, although you'll be fascinated that I believe we are in the third wave. I think there's a revival now. There's another revival, Mom, because of the moderns, which is a little bit before. The moderns, the pandemic, revived a lot of sewing.
Yes, it's essential. It's essential activity.
Yes,
that was so
and all of the fashion. All of the quilts that are being cut up for quilts. But I really think so. And so we had a very fun time at the last stream, and I'm going to write something. And I was working on it on the plane. Anyway, we'll talk about it later.
I can't wait to see what picture's next.
Oh, yeah. So there's 4 parts of the trajectory, I'm sure. This is what I'm saying. The Freedom Quilting Bee, working in the 1960s. People say that the quilt revival happened at the Whitney, right, in the 1971, and it's true. But the Freedom Quilting Bee, which is the Quilters of Gee's Bend, they were doing stuff in the 60s that laid the groundwork for the for quilts being considered art and everything. I mean, the Gee's
put them
Bend,
on the wall, collect them.
And they were, like op art, and there was just a lot going on before the Whitney exhibit, and so I just I'm revising that story. I used to be like, the Whitney exhibit was this breakthrough moment, and it was, but it was not the first thing. It was not the birth of it all. Whoops.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah,
right?
These pictures,
Right. Quilts were being sold at auction from Gee's Bend. Diana Vreeland bought one. Sister Parrish bought one. So there were quilts before the Whitney.
There were a lot of fish swimming in the sea at that time, swimming upstream.
Which actually makes it okay to mention the moderns being kind of the opening salvo for the third wave revival. Right.
I mean, artists saw the Whitney quilts, which were very basic quilts, and were just bowled over by it. And I know that the reaction of the moderns was to the Gee's Bend, that they were inspired by the Gee's Bend, which is it's just great that quilts that have been around for a while were the springboard for something new.
And the G's Bend exhibit at the Whitney was in 2002, and then the Modern Quilt Guild, I believe, was either 08 or 09, like in there. And I always say I love the modern quilters because their trajectory and mine. I wasn't a modern quilter, but we sort of started the same year doing stuff, and so we've all had growing pains and like learned a lot.
We're like companions on a journey.
But yeah, okay. So this was an auction poster in New York City for the G's Bend quilts. It's such a great story. Just a few more eye candy. People love to see them. You know, they got that fabric, that corduroy fabric, from Sears.
I remember buying fabric from Sears in Houston.
Well, they were getting scraps from the corduroy. Yeah. Okay, and then there was the Whitney show. Oh, the slide dropped out somewhere. Oh, well, that's weird. Okay, well, there's a link there. I don't know.
There's more pictures.
So then the Back to the Land movement was part of this thing too. And tell about what that was
Well,
about.
I mean, you know, your dad and I kind of dropped out in Houston. We weren't hippies, but we didn't want to live in a big city, and we dropped out of college and
I think we can talk a little bit louder.
went to Iowa.
Yeah.
We, went to Iowa where the farmhouse where my father was born had stood empty for 18 years and had no running water, and we made it into a home. And we weren't part of, I would never have lived in a commune, that kind of kind of thing. But I mean, we did want to return to something basic and real.
But you didn't do drugs or anything. It wasn't like
no, we just
you never did.
No.
You didn't take LSD or
No.
She probably would admit it here.
My brother, my twin, did the drugs in our family.
There's always one.
And he's still alive and kicking.
Anyway, so Back to the Land, but these are women who are making a quilt in Central Park in New York City.
It's a fantastic
in
photo.
1977, something like that. Okay.
Oh, I think it's earlier than that. It's before the bicentennial.
Before the bicentennial.
I think it was in the early 70s.
Okay. Yeah,
And
bicentennial.
And I had been doing embroidery. We in the farmhouse. We'd fixed up that farmhouse, and no kids yet. And actually Hannah was born in 75, but I heard about quilts. My family did not quilt, and I heard about quilts because a lot of people were thinking about quilts, making quilts for the bicentennial, and I was like, I'd like to learn how to do that. And so I marched into the Iowa State University Home Extension office on the town square in Winterset, the town where I live now, and asked the home economist if we could have a quilting class. And an interesting thing is Sharon Johnson, who was the home economist at the time, when the year that Liz and I were inducted into the Quilters Hall of Fame and we had an exhibit in Winterset, Sharon Johnson came back from Nebraska to come to this reception. And she said that it was very unusual for ISU Extension to offer programming based on a request from a citizen. Usually it's from the university. The university dictates what they're going to teach people. But there was something about me at 25 years old, and she found a teacher. I found a teacher in another county. I put an article in the newspaper so that I would be sure to have the class fill up. And Liz saw that notice in the Madisonian, and that's how she showed up. And so Sharon Johnson said, just think about it. Just two people, one class, two people. And look at what Liz and I, all the stuff we did, just from Winterset, Iowa, population at that time, 3,500 people. So it's amazing.
It is amazing.
And
there's a group, they're gathering to go elsewhere, so I think that'll go away. This is doing this in a lobby.
Can you hear them? They probably can't hear them badly.
It's probably fine.
Yeah.
Pausing 1 second to take a look at the chat and see what people are saying.
Are there questions?
I look just like my mom at your age.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Yes, it's good. She looks beautiful. So if I'm destined to do that, to look like that. Okay, so Sue says she made all of her quilted shows back then. And SJ, regarding the tote bag, how did anyone carry around their project? Yeah, it's a good question.
No, they didn't have projects until then.
Yeah, it was just
it was a chicken and egg thing.
Right.
Project.
They needed a tote bag before anybody could actually do it. Okay, yes. And there's totally a third wave. Thank you, Carolyn. Totally. Just so Viv joined the chat. Love that. And Padma says we should design a new Quilt Revival tote bag. You did the first Quilt Revival tote bag. We should do a tote bag to just push this along. It's really true. It's just people
Despite
need
the
to
fact there was
yeah.
a New York Times article about the tote bags that you got to use them, but I mean I use them
There's too
all
many.
the time.
I know, I do too.
I use them, and
I used one today in Budapest.
One time we had a sale on fabric at our shop, Liz and I, our mail order, and I had so many quilting tote bags because everywhere I went I got one, and I actually used them as bags when people bought fabric.
Oh,
I just and then I still had tons.
Yeah, I know.
left over,
Rebecca has so many. I was
know.
like, "Do you want this tote bag?" She's like, "No, no."
So we should do that. I would like to do that.
Yeah,
We
that
came
would be
to
great.
From
Let's
Texas
do it.
Also,
Sophie
5
Endor
acres
says,
under.
"Yeah,
Oh my
we came to
gosh.
Iowa from Texas." That's from.
I
You went from
know.
Texas to Iowa for
Yeah.
5 acres and independence. Carol Hempel. Yeah, Carol's
Same for her. We came to Iowa
hysterical.
from Texas.
I dropped my base. Carol's amazing. Okay. So let's we're caught up.
Okay.
Now what do I do? Oh wait. Okay. Oh,
Don't do that.
No, don't do that. No. It's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Advance the slide.
Here.
So bicentennial.
So bicentennial. Just
Yeah.
some images
Well,
from
and
that
this
time.
reminds me, like there weren't quilt shows. I mean, right now in the Iowa Quilt Museum, there's an exhibit about Mary Pimble Barton from Ames, Iowa, who started collecting things about quilts and all before the bicentennial. And it's a fantastic exhibit curated by a woman who did her PhD dissertation for her PhD in education on Mary Pimble Barton.
Wow.
Anyway, it's like my little group from this class, there was this quilt show in Boone, Iowa, like a quilt show. I mean, there weren't quilt shows.
Yeah, or quilt shops, obviously.
There weren't quilt shops and there weren't quilt shows, and now we take it for granted that there's quilt shows, But there was a time when it wasn't common.
I mean, yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. And I saw an antique quilt and I saw feather and I was like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we live in a world with lots of, well, of course during COVID a lot of quilt shows didn't happen, but they will again.
Oh yeah. And I think I was writing down, y'all, about like what data to find, right, to see if this revival, if there's an argument to be made. And one of the things that we need to figure out is, how many quilt shows. Like I was like, can there be a revival? There can't be a revival unless something is stagnant or declining. So, but I think you can absolutely have a revival if something has plateaued. It doesn't have to be like, quilting doesn't have to be like falling out of favor or just like super, dead, right? But if it's plateaued for a few years,
well, then a wave. I mean, a revival is kind of different. I mean, in the bicentennial, the revival, then there had been a fallow period.
Yeah.
And so there really hasn't been a fallow period ever since. So it's a wave.
Maybe. Yes, and a lot of quilt shops have closed, right, in the past some years. I hear about quilt shops.
I think
that
there are
have
women
closed.
in my generation that they get to be in their 70s. It's like this
and
is
they
too
don't
much
want to
work.
do it. Some of them have moved online too, but there's got to be a way to get data about the industry, because in the industry anyway.
Okay,
we'll talk about it later. Okay,
we got a lot more stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot more stuff, and we got to that's Mom pregnant with me.
Yes,
in
and you were born August 6th, and this is obviously summer, and I think I'm very great with child, and it was my first quilt. In fact, I made it.
That's your first one?
Yes, my first quilt, and my first big quilt. I made it for Marilyn Lane, and you had to take your stuff into the Iowa State Fair then and deliver it, and so other people you were born, and I called the quilt friends and I said, I can't go with. Well, I got all the news. And then I said, by the way, I can't go today. I had a baby last night.
She walked out of the hospital with all three of us kids.
Well, no, I walked from the delivery room to my room.
Yeah.
I did walk out of the hospital, too, but that was more normal. And I think they made me ride in a wheelchair.
Oh, you have to. Yeah, you have to. Anyway, okay, we got to get going.
Yeah,
that's the extension
there it
office.
is, yeah.
See, if we had rehearsed.
We did the same exact gesture.
Yeah. Oh, and I have to do this.
And I love this because it's a doorway to the future.
This is my coat that I'm wearing. Mom said it looked very Hungarian.
Very Hungarian.
Okay, I'm just like having fun. Okay, so that's the extension office, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, and look at that's Mom and Liz.
In those vests, yeah.
Look at those vests and the puffy shirt.
Yeah,
I
love that shirt.
Really?
It was real crisp. It was beautiful.
It's
Look at our students. They look like people from Saturday Night Live, like the church lady.
Sorry. Oh, you know what? In Overboard. Oh, this is terrible. That's a person. But in Overboard, our favorite movie, after Tootsie, there's that woman she's like reporting. She's like, "This is from Elk Grove Village. There's a woman who fell off and hit her head, and she doesn't really know who she is." And
Goldie Hawn says,
it's a terrible wig.
yeah.
It looked a little bit
But
like
those
that.
but those hairdos were that was.
I'm not being mean. I'm just.
Yeah, I mean, do I have the same? I got the
You
same
got the
thing,
same
only
hair.
curly.
Look at Liz's hair.
Yeah,
Y'all have
yeah.
the same hair.
Yeah, we were stylish. It was it was stylish then.
Yeah, it looks better than my hair. I mean, I'm like, but I was in the baths. We went to the Budapest baths.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There we are teaching the hoop thing. That was all the rage. Those seasonal,
Amazing.
fall, Christmas, spring, summer, spring. I think spring. Whatever.
Amazing. Okay, let's see. Alistrina. Ooh, Alistrina. Oh, it's gonna be a joint effort. It's gonna be amazing. Alistrina, you were looking at the MQG annual reports. I can't wait to talk.
I was born in '76. That's White Timber Cottage.
And look, Alistrina says individual membership revenue in the Modern Quilt Guild jumped to 167 in 2020 versus 131K in 2019. That's
With
fabulous
no
data point.
QuiltCon, with no QuiltCon happening
incredible.
in 2021, right?
Yeah.
It happened in 2020 and not 20.
But no, it was online at 2021.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in person. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
okay.
still, people needed it.
Yeah, they did. Fabric stores are becoming few and far between. Yes, so we got to do this, but yes, I cannot wait to talk more about that. Okay, so yes,
This is the power lunch of 1982.
Yeah, I remember that vest.
Yeah,
I remember that vest. The mom jeans. Okay, we got to get going. Okay, and then that was my image for. It was across the country.
Across the country,
And
Iowa.
then
There's Iowa.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Keep it going.
Okay, and then you had
Bryce and Donna Hamilton.
you had
Hamilton,
dealers.
And they in fact, the one year they came to Quilt Market and they had a baby and a playpen in their booth, and I took Rebecca in the Snuggly to Quilt Market, and she never made a peep, and everything. But then the next year, the rules came out, no children at Quilt Market. I'm like, well, we were in the forerunner, it's like.
I saw one smuggled in.
Yeah.
Smuggled in a snuggly.
Yeah.
Great, and then you have then you have the historians happening. Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
that's
So
a
they
little
were
cut off.
already, and Marty Michelle. I mean,
Sorry,
she was.
yeah, that's so Barbara Brackman and Questa Benberry, and if you know these people, I mean, these are young women,
Yes,
right?
and these are images from, I went through all the back issues of Quilters Newsletter, and I don't know if I made this point, honey, during the lecture, but I want to make it now, is Quilters Newsletter magazine, now defunct, was the internet for us, because every month that magazine came out, and everything that we wanted to know about was in that magazine. The quilt shops, where to go, the quilt shows, they would run columns of where all the quilt shows would be. So everything you wanted to find out, products, classes, everything was in Quilters Newsletter, because that was our internet in all those years.
Yes, that's right. I was listening to you, just saying.
Yeah.
I think it's just. I'm not sure what's going on. I think it's fine. Everything's fine.
Keep going.
Yeah, we got to keep going.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now I go over here. Yeah, Marty Michelle, just
one of the first publishers. This is her in 1981. She published Liz and my first book in 1982. She's was inducted into Quilters Hall of Fame last year. She should have been before Liz and me, but that's the way it went. But,
yeah.
Because she was amazing.
Yeah,
Still amazing.
Yeah, she's
Brilliant
still
woman.
amazing. We watched a little video of hers one day. Hey, Pam Priest. Quilters Newsletter. We'll talk about Quilters Newsletter at some point. I mean, when it closed, I cried. It's a travesty. A travesty. I know.
Jenny Beyer.
Okay, sorry.
Linda Ruther, R.E.P., Julie Silber, Marston Cunningham. Gwen is gone. Joe is curating a show for the Iowa Quilt Museum right now. Our next show, it's called Here Comes the Sun. Quilts with yellow and orange because of winter.
That's lovely. And I know, sorry, our camera's covering that, but I'll
Marston
screw it up
Cunningham.
if I try to fix it. But so that's Gwen Marston and Joe Cunningham up there, who made quilts together for a very long time. They were married.
Yes.
Right? Okay. All right. Oh, close up.
Yeah.
Wow.
They met because she was a singer in a club, and I think they needed a guitar or something, and he went and played backup, and they went home together, and that was that.
That was that. And Mary, in Michigan, Mary
Silver?
No. She was a quilt maker in Michigan. Mary, think of it. She taught them to quilt.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. It's hold on.
Someone
hold on,
will know.
Hold on. Not Mary Stewart.
Maybe it's not Mary.
No, it is. It's
Mary
Mary.
something Quilts.
We'll think of it. We'll think of
We
it.
may even have it up here.
Good. Yeah. We don't, but. Okay, so then
October 99,
just things
plan now to
happening.
join.
Things are
Yeah, it's
happening.
the Quilt Show of the Century.
Trajectory. Okay, Quilt Show of the Century, and then festival.
Yeah.
Festival.
Just an overview from the
happening.
Houston Quilt Festival. I don't think this is George Brown yet. This is before the George Brown was even built.
Yeah, the George Brown Convention Center. I'm gonna do one thing because I need to fix this thing real quick. Sorry, everybody.
And in fact, if you went back to that ad for the Quilt Show of the Century, it would probably say where it was, although I don't think it matters whether it was in the Astrodome or what.
Oh,
First time I went, it was back at the Shamrock Hilton Hotel, which, then we outgrew that by a long shot.
Okay, sorry. Okay, that's a little bit better.
You're being a perfectionist.
And I know. Okay.
Tweaking it.
Yes. Okay.
But Bryce and Donna Hamilton would have, had a booth. There were many antiques. Well, there you go.
And then there's, that was then, right? And this is now, this is George Brown Convention Center. This is Quilt Market or Festival, both. I mean, it looks like that now.
I haven't been in so long. Even pre-pandemic, because I don't really, it's so great to have all of you watching because, I feel like I'm really not relevant anymore when it comes to the industry because I used to know who was in charge of everything, and I don't anymore, and I don't care, it's fine, let other people do that. But in terms of, quilters, the quilter on the street, we're the same person still.
Yeah, it's true.
But, because I thought if I went to the Quilt Market again, people say, Marianne Fons.
Yeah.
Is she's still alive? Yeah, this is the complete guide,
the book,
and that's the manuscript that weighed 13 pounds at birth. But that book's back in print now with Dover, and they did a beautiful job. So
yeah.
We didn't change much.
Nope. Okay, and then triumphs. Okay, yeah, this is good.
What
It's
are they? Let's
progressing.
see.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Read on.
Oh, income. Yes, income. Look, that's Carrie Bresnahan right here at her shop, Great Expectations.
And that's her mom, I think.
Yeah, and is that Nancy? I mean, yeah.
Oh, you mean her
Brian Quintus.
I don't think
Nancy.
so.
Okay.
I don't think so. But Carrie actually ran for office in Houston and did not win. And she started Great Expectations with her cousin and her aunt and her mom. And
her cousin who was raised as her sister.
Yes,
because I interviewed them for Quilt Folk.
Nancy O'Brien, Nancy Quintus, Nancy O'Brien. And anyway, her shop was wonderful. That's where I marched in with those tote bags so long ago. But Carrie, I mean, has been for years one of the most powerful women in the quilt industry. The owner of the giant shows.
Is there anyone more powerful than her?
Well, and I don't know, and I hate to talk about power, even though I just said that. But I mean, she's influential. I said one time it was Bonnie Lehman, editor of Quilters Newsletter magazine, who brought quilting to us. Marty Michelle, who started a publishing company, enabled us to write books, and Carrie Bresnahan made it a business. It's like those women enabled me. Once I was on my own, divorced, I was able to make enough money to support a family of 4 people and even put my kids through college. So they came out without debt. So all because because this woman right here, I'm pointing through. You can see,
I can point. That's my cursor. They can see that.
Because she made a business out of it then, and it's like at first there were no men at those events. No, but then husbands started helping their wives and stuff, and men follow the money trail. So now we women know how to follow the money trail.
That's right. And you were always lamenting though after the divorce that you're never going to meet anybody because you work in this women's industry. And you've also said hilariously that there should be at the quilting conventions in these big convention centers they should book a quilt convention and like an astronomers convention. I mean, not that women aren't astronomers, but these geeky guys. These like geeky guys, physicists.
But when I would go to Quilt Market or any kind of quilt event, some quilter would come and say, "Oh, I love you. I watch your show. My husband watches with me." And I'm like, "Does he have a brother?"
I got into that trap too. I was,
they were trying to hook you up with somebody, or match you up with something.
I think it's okay to say that. Well, no.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go here. Okay. Okay. Discovery. Oh yes, the discovery.
What did we discover? I don't know. Let's see. Let's discover it again.
We're discovering it again. Oh, discovery.
Oh.
Well, discovery. Okay, so this is a rapid fire thing. I mean, discovery of so many things. You know, the
Yes.
quilts of America. You know, the discovering
The past.
the
The quilts of the
past, the
past.
past,
Yeah.
the rich heritage and the value and the treasure trove,
Oh,
right?
the incredible-
the heritage,
The body of work.
the body of work.
The inspiration,
body of
the public domain design
Yeah.
that we could use as inspiration. I mean, just look at that Irish chain sitting right there on the screen. It's awesome.
It's-
the way the color goes. It's like an ombre. It's just,
Yep. Well, yeah, you can kind of see that. See, I can go like this. And I would like to point out that Mark Wesley says, "What? Not relevant? You're the foundation of the quilting startup again in the 70s. Marianne Fons is the godmother of the
Oh.
quilting revival. You did make the tote bag, which I
Thank
did
you.
not know."
Thank you,
Mark.
Marka. That was sweet.
Okay. Okay,
Oh,
and connections,
friends, yeah.
connections. You know, all these friends. That
I
was
have a
discovered.
quote for you. It's
Yeah.
like when I would talk with quilters out in the world, I remember one of them saying, I really, how was it? I really prefer my quilting friends to my church friends because they don't gossip.
Really? I mean, she just probably needed to stick around a little bit longer. But
I've been to many quilt events where women didn't. Like I remember when I was a young married woman going to a quilt club, not a quilt club, a social club in Winterset, Iowa. You know, and the whole conversation was about what your husband did. And in quilt events, it's like, no, what binding are you doing, or what's your project? I really do think that quilters are less interested in that other extraneous stuff. That doesn't mean we don't get together and talk about you're raising your child, are they going through a phase, but it's more in general, not like he said, she said, who said, in my opinion. Now, there's some petty people, but I was talking to that flight attendant, you didn't tell you about that, on the flight over, he's like, Marianne Fons, I'm your... my mom is a big fan.
That's awesome.
And we agreed there are just very few stinkers.
Yeah, I think guilds can get weird. I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah.
I've tried being a guild member, and I don't know. Sometimes it feels like Mean Girls or something. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably it's all in my head.
I think guilds are great.
But yeah, no, guilds are great. I was just never home long enough to go to any guild meetings for the show because I was a member, but I was like completely absentee.
I'm the worst member of anything.
So, but I have to tell you two fun things about being noticed or being recognized. So I was dating Dumb Klaus, Klaus, the German philosophy professor. I mean, he thought I was brilliant, so I was like, well,
tell me more about my eyes.
He was really hot, but terrible. But anyway, he was in Chicago, and we went to Springfield to see the Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln birthplace, and we're walking through, like the Lincoln Rotunda or something like that, and someone's like, Mary Fons, and I was like, because it was like our third date, and I was like, just a second, Klaus. I mean, and then he was very impressed. And then in Nashville in 2020, Eric, Eric and I were engaged. Mom didn't even know. Complicated. And we were at we were eating barbecue in Nashville, and a whole table of people were like, excuse me, and this guy came over, he's like, my friend really wants your autograph, but she doesn't want to ask. And I was like, hold on, Eric, it's fine. It's awesome, perfect timing, perfect.
But I got to tell you something that brings you down a peg, that brings a person down a peg. So I was in Iowa City one time walking with Hannah, and we're walking along, and someone comes rushing up, and I'm like, it was because Hannah wrote a column for the paper. She said, "You're Hannah Fons," and it was so great because I was expecting this person to recognize me, and instead it was Hannah, and Hannah was like, "Wow."
Well, and our youngest member of our family, Rebecca Fons, is in the New York Times. She was quoted in the New York Times
about
recently.
About the always predicted death of cinema. She's the program director. She's a programmer for the Gene Siskel Film Center at the Art Institute, and so she was quoted as. She gave wonderful quotes.
And then I think this is, a triumph, the female realm.
Yes.
I think it was, the female, it was
it's
women.
A great photo.
Isn't that wonderful?
I love that.
Me too. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, going through all those old quilters newsletters, we have a full set almost at the Iowa Quilt Museum in Winterset, Iowa. You can't check them out, but you can read them there. But going through all those back issues was just like, I mean, it really took me back. It was amazing. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. By the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, I think it would be a great time to do that. It's $4.99 a month. You should subscribe.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And you don't have to watch ads, but you support the work of the Quilt Nerd.
Yes.
That's your host, and I'm working hard for you. Let me tell you.
Support her. Yeah, please support her.
Yeah,
I supported her for years, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, you did.
Look
You
how
paid
she
my
turned
parking.
out. She
Yeah,
turned out,
you
yeah.
paid our parking tickets sometimes in Iowa City.
Yeah, oh
and you
my
probably
God, all the
shouldn't
time,
have.
yeah.
Okay,
We were all in
failures.
school at the same time, so you each blame the other one for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of failures,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh.
right? Ooh.
I don't know what that's about.
I
Go to the
don't
next
either.
slide. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Listen, you know what? All my slideshows are rapid. They're much quicker than this usually. But but what I do is I have so many slides. If you've ever been to one of my lectures,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's like this, and really, I never ever have to have notes. Of course, I rehearse things all the time.
yeah.
But that's my style.
Yeah, it's-
where I'm like,
Yeah, click, click.
okay, this is where it is.
Yes, over-commercialization could be considered a failure.
Hey, 5Z, that's Eric.
Oh.
Eric subscribed.
Oh, good. Well, he should.
We're looking at the chat. We're looking at.
Yeah.
We don't mean to be rushed, but here's the thing,
We
Rebecca.
got 15 minutes.
Yeah, Rebecca, who's in the New York Times. Well, that doesn't make you a perfect person because she's a tour director. She's
Yes.
always the cruise director, and she's like, we need to be leaving for the restaurant, at 6:45, so 6:15,
But they're coming here for drinks, so they will come in, and what do they
fine.
call it, bombing? What do they call it?
Photobomb.
Yeah, they'll be
that'd
photobombing
great.
us, yeah.
That'd be great. Okay. So, wait, over commercialization. This is important because this is something that I came to you with at a certain point because you all know that I love weird quilts. I love pictorial quilts. I love quilts with words on them, which you do too. But quilts were weird. They used to be really weird, and with lots of applique, and
You mean
what
like
I mean
in the
is
19th century, or?
yeah, but also in the early,
Oh, I know
and
where
then
you're
in
going.
the 70s too.
Yeah.
But then there were these kits, which you and Liz
Yeah.
did a lot of that.
Yeah.
But there were kits. There were more
Yeah.
fabric companies,
Yeah.
and so the magazines and the quilts, as a result, and the rotary cutter, I think
We
quilts
kind of
just
watered things down a
you
little bit.
watered things
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
and the soul, right? The
Yeah.
soul was lacking to
But
me.
on the other hand, if a person doesn't really like picking colors and is unsure as if they can get a kit and it's going to look like that, they're happy. So I mean, I see both sides of that. But I mean, I do think all the kits and stuff impacted creativity. But that just gives an opportunity for more new creativity to come along.
And if people, you know what, hey, notes to quilts, she has a point. She's like, this is rapid. I missed the beginning. Are you being chucked out of an internet cafe or something? No.
Well, it's a very nice hotel,
I
but-
think we can, let's just not
Speed
go.
up?
No, not speed up. We're on failures, and there's 4 parts,
Okay.
and failures is the 3rd one. So
Okay.
we're coming to the end. So I
Okay.
think we can, oh, God. So I think we can be okay. By the way, if you're new in here, welcome.
We're broadcasting from Budapest.
broadcasting from
Budapest.
Budapest. So anyway, the other thing is, if there is a 3rd wave revival happening, one way that it could be defined, one way that it could have its texture, is if people start making weird quilts again. No pattern.
yeah.
I mean, and the moderns started doing but just
Original
don't worry
design.
about, just make your quilt I don't know, but just don't follow all the rules anymore.
Unless you're trying to make money in the industry, then you guys, it's
Of
like it's
course.
we should do a whole talk about that.
And call it, it's complicated. Quilts.
Complicated.
It's complicated. And this is probably an illustration
Yeah,
of what I was
let's see-
talking
let's see if
about,
there's a
is that
caption.
quilts were really weird. Yeah, okay, look, I like these.
Yeah. I think
don't-
this
oh,
was
yeah,
an example
compare.
of something Liz and I did. I did this a big block quilt as a kit, and it's pretty bland, although it's not bad.
It's cute, it's lovely,
It's-
and we're used to that.
Yeah.
But look at this pictorial
know,
quilt
yeah.
with a rainbow
I know,
and
I know.
these hexy
I know.
gardens.
A little flag.
And the quilts we look at that
little
are just
teepee.
a little teepee, yeah.
And a picket fence.
Yeah, picket fence and a sunshine,
Yeah.
and these hills,
Yeah.
And it's I don't
They're
see
alive
it as
with
an
the sound
art
of
quilt.
music.
It's not an art quilt to me. That's a quilt.
It's a pictorial quilt.
I mean, they did, and I think it's probably it was on the bed. It's at a certain
Yeah.
point. It wasn't hanging on the wall. It was
Yeah.
made in the 60s, probably. I think, or the 50s. Anyway, I know that rainbow. That rainbow. Oh, and this is I remember this because there were these, like with the burst of, commerce and stuff, there were there's more publishing and stuff. And quilt cartoons, I'm sorry, no shade thrown to Jennifer Lopez. I'm sure that she is lovely. And I really, don't want to say anything uncharitable, but quilt,
About Jennifer Lopez?
Jen Lopez, she's the artist. Not Jennifer
oh,
Lopez.
Oh, because I'm like, what? This lecture just took
Well,
a turn that
this
I
is-
was not expecting.
Is there a slide of Jennifer Lopez somewhere? No, but they're not funny. quilt cartoons, quilt humor.
They
is
always
just,
are denigrating.
They're denigrating, but they're not funny, and that's
It's denigrating
because
to him too.
And the husbands are always
Because-
made out to be these sad sacks,
Yeah.
or she's lying about her fabric stash.
Or he doesn't know. They're not communicating, so he doesn't know what these things are. If they were communicating, he'd know. Mark knows what a jelly roll is.
Yeah. So they have problems in their marriage.
Yeah.
And that's not funny.
Yeah.
but also it's like there's nothing to poke fun at about a quilter. I mean, she's making quilts. He's making quilts.
Mm-hmm.
So what? There's nothing really risky, and so it just becomes ageist, like, oh, grandma something. It's just not funny.
But a lot of people think it's funny, though. But to each his own.
Appropriation.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, yes.
Let's go to
Okay.
the next.
Oh, that's interesting. I
This
used
is-
that word back there. This is
Yeah.
Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
This is the stuff, We all know. I keep talking about the fashion because I'm doing quilts in fashion at QuiltCon
Oh.
and quilts in fine art.
And where is it? Where's QuiltCon?
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Okay.
Oh, we can't forget to tell them that one thing.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, cutting up the quilts. We were outraged.
Oh,
We were
yeah,
outraged
yeah.
because people might not know
look at
what
that.
they're cutting up.
Look at that. Look at that. What? Sorry. I got to use this slide. I can just pull this slide
Yeah.
into my new one. That's amazing. Endangered species. Wow. Help stop. But what were they going to do? Oh no, we froze.
They were cutting quilts up.
We
too.
froze. We froze. Oh no. Can you all see us? Can you see us? Oh no. We froze. We froze.
Will we unfreeze?
Oh no. Freeze. Okay. Hang on. But not in the. Okay. Not frozen. You're good. Okay.
Okay.
Well, we're frozen
Just
for
to
us.
yeah. While I was
That's-
swiping my nose vigorously.
And I'm going, always, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I mean, people were cutting up quilts to make teddy bears and clothes and stuff. And Liz and I actually put something in that in 1982. And our vest book is like, know what you're doing.
Oh, sorry, I was just telling.
Okay, some quilts, it's okay to cut it because they're just shreds. There's one little good portion, but we didn't trust the people that were doing this to know whether the quilt was okay. You actually needed a quilt police for that.
Some people have audio, but it's a frozen video. Let me do one quick thing. I actually think I can fix this pretty easily. So you're gonna just give us a second.
Okay.
You won't have sound for just 1 second. Okay.
Kind of reboot.
Oh
it.
no, travel cam mic. They can still hear us. All right,
Okay.
let's do this.
No cursing.
No cursing. Okay, image capture. Look how complicated
Yeah,
this
I
is.
know.
It's so complicated. Video capture device. Add source. Travel cam.
Oh
Nope.
we
It's
both
still
look terrible.
We look really bad. Okay, 1 second.
Remove that for sure.
Yeah, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do this real quick. Hang on. All right, now I'm gonna do this. I think they can hear us now. Okay.
I'm so impressed with your skills.
I know. Travel cam.
Yay!
Hey, all right.
Now we're not frozen in-
But now I gotta. we're covering the thing. Okay. You're all
smooth us
very
around, yes,
popular.
okay.
I mean, popular. Very patient.
Patient.
Okay. Yep. Now let me do. Right. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Next picture.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait. Okay. Hang on. Okay. Yep.
Done.
Okay, that should be it.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Whew. Now we're doing it. We're doing a good job. I need water. That's why we have to keep going. Okay, so I love that slide. Oh yes, this is Emily Bode. We won't stay too long
Yeah.
on fashion. I'm talking about it all the time these days. Yes, Bode with her clothes.
Yes.
Baudet. It's actually pronounced Baudet. I learned that, which
Those are
is
beautiful.
good. Yeah, they are beautiful.
And that was
Harriet-
the Smithsonian. This is about the Smithsonian
Yes.
making in China, making kits or making not kits, making knockoffs
Yep.
that you could buy for $100, which is, and I'm sure when the thing we're going
Ooh,
to talk
look,
about,
look.
the thing we're going to talk about later, that quilt is in that exhibit.
I
isn't it?
know,
Yes,
I know,
yes.
I know it is.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
here's
I
an
mean,
article.
Carrie Bresenhan went to the Smithsonian, and I think she went to Congress and talked about
she
this,
did.
that this was an outrage to take this known a quilt from a slave-made quilt, an enslaved person made quilt that we know,
Yeah.
and then to copy it and sell it as a souvenir. It was just wrong in so many levels.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
We know that we're covering up some of the image, but we're in a hotel lobby.
Yeah.
You know, we're just gonna, because these people come in and they haven't seen it, so I have to, apologize all the time. I don't have to. Okay, so that's a great image. So now there's also. This is where failures, right?
Yeah, this is the failure. I've bemoaned this failure a long time.
You were the one who made me think of this.
I said, compared to the quilter, even the librarian is sexier than the quilter in the mind of the public, because she takes off her glasses, she lets down her hair, and but the quilter, everyone thinks the quilter is a little old lady. And I even asked Barbara Brackman, I have a theory about it, is that during the Depression, quilting, we had kind of a fallow period. But the only people that were making quilts, let me put it this way, it was more when women went to work during World War II. I'm correcting myself. But the people that were still quilting were the grandmas who had no money and no power, but they had time. And so I think a lot of them pieced quilts, during World War II, when the women, Rosie the Riveter, was working and making money. And so I think that's when this image of the quilter became. Is that our family?
No. I think you're right. And SJ, very good point. So SJ saying, when do we want to be sexy? Why do we need to be sexy? And I brought that up too. That's part of. Thank you for reminding me. That was one of my points. Is like, why should we have to be? Like, we don't have to be. That's not a thing. But there's this.
It's a stereotype.
The librarian
it's a
stereotype.
And that we're uninteresting
until
that we're fuddy-duddies, and we're not chic.
Exactly, which is ridiculous.
That we're not beautiful, and it's like that's what I'm talking about. And thanks for talking about that.
Yeah, it's sexy in the sort of broad sense. Like we can't. We're sort of stereotyped into this one, putting us out to pasture or something, and it's ageist. And it's ageist anyway to say little old ladies can't be fabulous.
Yeah, look at me. Yes, and it's like that they have all the time in the world. They have nothing better to do than so this patchwork, and that's demeaning. I think that's demeaning. So,
and Alistrina points out that it sounds to me like the quilting demographic has also been changing. Kevin's the president of the Philly Modern Quilt Guild, and he comes in the chat. Hey Bib, hey, it's my mom, and it's getting younger. And you were saying that the Quilting in America survey, for a long time, that survey that came out every year, the quilter every other year,
they were always my age. They're always my age. And now they're getting younger than my age. Imagine.
And the quilter was getting older, and now it's changing because of the moderns.
That's great.
Right? It's awesome.
I couldn't be happier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess that's me
sexy
being
picture.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's a great picture.
Okay. So now, like what? Right? Like what happens now? What's the next thing? Pam Priest says all her guy friends love it when she talks about what quilt you're making. Hey. Well, while we're just talking about, let me put this in a good way. Oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like there's been times when like I really like. Was the deal, when like I would show like a guy he'd be over having a drink or something, I'd be like, hey, let me show you my quilts, and he was like, wow,
all this and this too.
It's just good times. Okay, so like now what comes next? What comes next? And it's 6:00, so we're doing great. Because
we have a little more time.
Well, if Rebecca can just deal with it. This is really special. Okay. I don't remember what we said.
Okay, so
about
now find a perspective.
Let's see what we said.
What did we say?
Oh, well, that's Doreen Speckman.
We talked about Doreen Speckman, who was one of the most popular quilt makers in America at her untimely death at age 50, so and so. And I think we'll see what we say about this, but it was like, so what now is like really, you never know how long you've got. You don't know when you're making your last quilt. And she was she died 20 years, 30 years ago. Wait, now I don't have the year down. But,
do you? You might.
Here she is.
I think it might be here. There.
Yeah,
there.
okay, so she died in 1999, and, she was leading quilters all around the world. Everyone loved her. She was the most popular quilter.
Bip says Doreen was a great teacher.
She was a great teacher. She was a great person. She was in Madison, Wisconsin. I mean, she was Victoria Family Wolf is kind of like Doreen, because Victoria's from Minnesota, and so she's got a Midwestern soul, and very approachable. Doreen was also hilarious. But anyway, I think we put this in to say, look, you never know when your quilt you're working on is not to go dark, but is your last quilt. And so make the most of it, enjoy your friends, enjoy your conferences, and, rock it,
I think also, well, at least I would say this now, if we were giving this lecture now, which of course we are. Okay, oh, that's the last slide. So let's just wait. So we'll go down. I would say that, as quilt makers get older, and I mean, like, I'm 42, and like
I'm 74.
Two.
72,
Yeah,
because
72.
I'm always 30 years older than you.
So, when I first started making quilts, I made all the quilts. I want to just make quilts. But then it changed where I started looking more at the history and, like, the culture of quilts, and it's just fascinating to me. And I think that as the 40-year-old quilters get older, and certainly I'm, like, trying to do this crusade thing of, like, when you have perspective on what you're doing, it's even more, it's deeper and it's more meaningful. You don't ever have to be a quilt nerd. You don't have to look at the history to enjoy making quilts. You can just make quilts and enjoy it. But, there's so much more to it, which is the point of the show, basically. And so now what happens with quilts in America, I think as different, people get older making quilts, they will learn more about, they can.
Yes.
And so once you have that perspective on making quilts, what you do, how you're part of this legacy, you're part of this heritage, this amazing heritage. Quilting touches every socioeconomic background, every color, race, creed. It's a democratic art.
Yeah.
And I feel like if more people sort of like chew that stuff a little bit, then who knows what quilt making can do beyond just making quilts. It has like this, it's such a powerful practice.
And you're just giving me an epiphany, kind of, because at 72 and at 42 you appreciate your maturity. Maturity, and so I think maturity is a wonderful thing, a wonderful perspective, a mature perspective. And so maybe that's where we are with the quilting revival that started in the mid-70s, is like we've reached this maturity about our quilting, because I really think it's onto something, because of this mature phase. We've got people working on design, we've got people in studio art, we've got people working on history, we've got people working on every kind of thing, and images are so available. And so I think really we have reached a mature place in our American history of quilt making. So anything can happen from here. I like to think.
Yeah, that's good. And I also think everybody's so great. They're really happy. So my theory too is that quilts, I don't know if I've told you this, but the environmental impact of quilt making is, it's not pretty, probably. You have lots of fabric production, textile manufacturing in China and Korea, I think, sewing machines. Look, of course you're going to have an environmental impact. We flew to Budapest, you flew,
I know.
Nobody's clean from like an eco footprint or whatnot, but I think that more people, I think the quilts are going to change. I think the look of the quilts are going to change, Mom, because I think more people, especially those coming into the quilt making now, like 30-year-olds and things, they're more concerned with the environment. And so I think quilts are going to get a lot busier, because people are going to go and reuse fabric. They're going to go to the thrift stores and the Salvation Armies and all that. And you can't get 6 yards of a fabric. You have to use a bunch of different things. So I think we're heading into like a crazy quilt period, right? Where it's going to be busy compared to the modern quilt aesthetic, which of course is totally minimal. It's changed a little bit.
Like anti-sparseness.
And like hemlines go up and hemlines go down. There's going to be a reflex, and I think the
can't wait
quilts
to see that.
I know. It's going to
be
great.
I'll probably plan to go to QuiltCon.
You gotta go.
I think I'm going to go.
You gotta go.
I'm going to go. But before that, we're going to go to Boston.
We're going to go to Boston, y'all. So remember, I told you that Mom and I were going to go. And I needed to talk to Mom before I said, hey, if anybody wants to come while we're there, we could like meet up and go. And I was like, Mom, what do you think?
I said I thought it'd be great.
She said that sounded great. And so we're going.
I don't see. Okay, so it's the week.
The week of Christmas.
The week of Christmas.
The week of
Christmas is on Saturday this year, and we are going to fly to Boston
the 21st,
on Tuesday, I think, and see the show on Wednesday. and fly back to Chicago that
on
day.
Wednesday. So it's one night.
So Wednesday morning, and you can reach out to people. You'll have many more of these before.
Oh yeah, and the
before.
Discord, we'll put details in the Discord server too. If you're not on the Discord, people in the chat can help you. I know, Discord, it's called Discord. But I'll put in show info, in the show info channel, I'll give details. So I think you bought tickets for the 11 a.m. on the 22nd.
So. I think so, yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
And so
I didn't bring my purse or anything down here,
no.
But yeah, but how great to see some of your fans at the show.
And your fans. I mean, we could just, we'll see the show together, and then
we should think of something fun, like, not that I'm trying to promote autographing things, but we should think of something fun, something fun that people could bring or do or something like that. I don't know.
Like a block or some kind of like.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, let's think about it. And if you all have ideas, put them in the. I don't know. Put them in the lobby, in the lobby channel. If you've got ideas for maybe something we could do, there could be a quilt nerd quilt if people made a block. Anyway, okay. Here's what we're gonna do.
Make blocks if all the blocks were different sizes, but they came out even. If they're 12 inches, like even 4, 6, 8, 12.
And it has to be pictorial.
Oh,
you can do piecing,
but we can do.
It has to be weird.
We can do patchwork spacers. We can do spacers. That's just like this, just like the Americana sampler.
Yeah.
We can do patchwork and if it's applique.
Yeah.
Then we make it applique.
Yep, applique.
Pictorial, and then we can use saw teeth and stuff. I can see it.
And you know what? Here's the thing. So what I'm going to do is I'll put a bunch of pictures of a bunch of pictorial quilts, and sometimes you can just copy if you like a little animal that somebody made.
It can be a 2-inch block, so it's got to be 2.5 inches raw.
We'll talk
2-inch finish.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll put instructions. We'll put everything in there, and if you want to participate, that'd be great. Don't worry. You saw us just come up with this idea, so we don't know yet.
Then maybe next summer we could get together, and sew together.
And it could be on the set for the Twitch show.
Something like that.
And so I'll put a bunch of pictures in the Discord. Actually, it'll be its own channel.
We could ever make
it'll be its own channel. Because the project channel, like the group project, I got you.
Yes,
I got you.
Yes, they got it. They're so smart.
Yeah, they're so smart.
Yeah,
I might tap one of you to help me.
And even if something doesn't come out right, we can always put a little border. It may be easy to fix. Because group quilts, there's a challenge always there.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that.
Is there a stigma as a man in quilting? I don't think so.
Men in quilting? No.
I think there's more and more men quilting.
There are, and sometimes
I thought they should all along. Because they need therapy just like everybody.
Yeah. But I say, I tend to gender quilt makers as female, just because I grew up around so many, and most of them were women. It's kind of make one block for me, one block for you all. Oh, yeah, send a block.
Can we send? Yes, of course.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta organize all this. Okay. Yes, 1000%.
But we're gonna make it easy. It's not complicated.
No.
It's 2-inch finished, 4, 6.
And because it's going to be applique, it's important, and I think we'll all see why. It's going to push more weird quilts into the stream. I mean, not to the live stream, but I mean, maybe even if a couple people sort of get freed from their just patchwork piecing.
And I have an idea, although you may poo-poo this, but I'm just thinking of color scheme.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you could put up a picture of the Americana sampler that Liz and I made, it has this, it's red, blue, green, gold, this, so that at least there is a...
Yeah.
Is that controlling?
Well, here's the thing. No, it's a little controlling.
Yeah. Okay, we just got...
No, but
we
here...
can fix it with the spacers.
And I'm picturing, like quilt nerd, like little glasses, like applique, like black glasses, like fun, like almost like cartoony.
Yeah, just do whatever you want. We'll.
But what we were talking about is Boston, and so now we're gonna close up shop here, and go and have
some
dinner.
Goulash.
Have some goulash, some chicken paprikash. So I'll put information in the Discord. It'll be later.
I think it would be the discourse.
Well, that would be lovely, but we didn't get to name it because Discord's the worst. But so you can. But if you're in Boston, or you can, it's Christmas week, so a lot of people are going to be doing their own thing. But we can. I mean, depending on how many people, we could go to lunch.
Yeah, we could go to lunch, and what we can do is we can have the blocks due by the end of the year.
Yeah.
by the end of the year or something like that.
Okay, I'm gonna
She'll
do-
work out the details.
I'm just gonna do one pass through the chat so
See
we
if we
can
missed anything.
yeah. Okay, so
Oh, someone said they wish they lived in the U.S. so they could come to Boston.
I know. Well, yeah, I got to get to the U.S. to go.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So the people are real glad we made time, and it was our pleasure. I told you it'd be fun.
Yes, that was great fun.
I know. So
When she asked me this afternoon, I'm like, well, of course I'll do that.
yeah, you did say we're magic.
Yeah.
It's very nice. The picture's great.
Always like an assignment.
Yeah, and Myra says she just started making quilts this year. Just this year, learning about the history and
wonderful.
social
So fun
context
to be a beginner.
makes it more meaningful,
Yeah.
more urgent, more satisfying. Yes.
Totally.
We're amazing. That's nice. It's a treat. Oh, good.
Trick or treat.
Yeah, trick or treat. Oh, did you say not enough people were in the chat when you said?
We're here in Budapest.
Budapest. Imagine having wine with these ladies.
We're going to do that shortly.
Yeah,
Boston.
we're gonna have some
Jill,
wine.
I live near Boston. Oh,
Jill's
Jill.
gonna come. Jill's
Yeah.
you're gonna come. I mean, we're thinking of the weather. It's like
Well,
traveling. It's like
While you're sifting through those, it was
Yeah.
like when I heard about this exhibit, I emailed Mary because, I don't travel so much. I mean, pandemic and all, so I used to go to everything. And it's like, I think I need to see that show, but I only want to go if I can go with you. Because I want to see it with you. Otherwise, I can skip it. Yeah, I can
love
skip
you,
it
Mom.
otherwise.
Love you, Mom. Okay, blocks. Yes, people are super down with the blocks.
Berets,
Viv,
yes.
Viv, I wish you lived in the U.S. too, and
I'll wear my beret to Boston.
and men in quilting. Mark, I mean, 1,000%. We should have that gender conversation one night. See, this is
yeah.
what we get to do on this
Yeah.
show. We just talk
Yeah.
about it. We figure it out. I mean,
I can be a frequent guest if you want me
I
to.
would love that. And because
figure it
I'm not selling advertising, you can do it because contractually, she has. But I don't think
I'm not worried about that.
Screw them. Sorry, but berets. Oh, berets.
Yes, I'm going to wear my beret to Boston.
This is too much. Sue, I don't know. It's hard to tell a tone. I'm pretty sure you're like, this is too much. This would be
In
fun.
a good way.
I don't think it's like, look, ladies, this is too much. I
Well,
gotta
is she
go.
still with us?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
A great idea. Yes, that Myra passed out from all the info. This is when we were like, we should do this. Okay,
Well,
good.
it's,
Yeah,
what it is the best thing in the world is collaborating.
yeah, exactly.
We're
This is what we do.
collaborating.
Okay, yes, weird. Yes, Mark, I am in that quilting. Sue says I see more and more men in quilt shops. Yeah, and quilts are cool, so it's like a cool thing.
American Sampler Colors. Forget that. Do what you want.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Can everybody see the chat too?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
all
going way back here.
Okay.
The YouTube chat.
Phil Box in London. We can use it. We can get them to Winterset or something like that.
Oh yeah. I do not have a P.O. box in London. That's interesting. Maybe the people in the UK and in
Yeah.
Europe and beyond can send them to me,
And US
then
people can
US
send
people
to me,
send
but
them to you.
that'll
We'll
come
figure it
later.
out. Carol, this has been great. I'm so glad you were here. Lost internet. Yeah, SW, we're going to do a quilt. We're going to do a quilt nerd quilt. There was maybe a little bit of, hey, it's Val, Crafts for Others. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's been okay on our end with tech, but
We fixed
who
it then,
knows? I'm going to put all the info in Discord. And by the way, oh, good. One more thing. QuiltCon in Austin, that's the next year. Hey, Jen Loren. There is, you're welcome, Myra. There is the last stream we did. You remember I showed my email screen on accident? And I'm going to take that out and then I'll post the last stream to Twitch and to YouTube. But we left. I mean, I just haven't had any moment to do that. So that is coming, and the links and everything. But I mean, we left the next morning, and it was too ambitious of me to think that I could get all of that done. But that stream will be up for the rewatch and everything, and so will this one. So
It's a lamp. I thought it was a person. It's just a lamp.
It's just a lamp.
The lamp was hovering over there. Such a person.
Look at that weird lamp.
Yeah.
It's staring at us. So what a treat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
It's like doing the show. Okay, bye everybody. Please be well. Enjoy your Sunday, and if you don't follow me on Instagram and Facebook, do it. I gotta get to 10,000 followers. I gotta do it. I just never.
Are you close?
It's like 9,900 or something. I mean, we just gotta get me there. Tell everyone, because I gotta get that blue check next to my name, because there was a nibble on the documentary thing. But they look at social media numbers, and I just never care about social media. Anyway, okay. On that note, what fun. Technology is awesome. Turkish
It was
coffee.
wonderful to meet all you guys. I had a great time. It was fun.
We'll see you later. Bye.